Hey guys, welcome to a behind the scenes of Ashley in the off season. She's in the off season.
Off season of,
It's like,
of like 6 weeks.
It's like 6 weeks.
Or less?
Yeah, 6 weeks or less. She is taking some time off to build the shoulders, and we're gonna take advantage of this time. And so we're gonna go into something that's really, really advanced. Now I do wanna make sure you guys understand this is a very advanced workout. Honestly, if you're within even your first year of working out, I probably wouldn't even recommend this. So I got this originally from bodybuilders years ago doing this type of highly intense frequency and intensity for short periods of time. Years ago, I thought bodybuilders were able to get away with it because, you know, bodybuilders have been working out for 20 years. We're talking pro bodybuilders working 10 years out plus. And I was like, yeah, we probably can't use that in bikini. And then lately, it's becoming more of a relevant thing. More bikini girls have been doing it. So this is an example of what we're doing behind the scenes with some extremely high volume, extremely high frequency shoulder training to bring Ashley's upper body up a little bit. That's what the judges said. They want a little bit, just a kiss of muscle. We said, all right, we'll give you a kiss of muscle. Second, here we come. So this is a high frequency, high volume workout. We'll lay the workout out for you here. Again, you will not recover from this if you are within your first few months. It is not for you. As you advance as an athlete, your recovery and your ability to do exercise in higher frequency and higher volume will also advance. So just like you're training your muscles to get bigger, your recovery ability also gets better as you do this longer and longer. So just keep that in mind. This is not for the regular person.
Good thing I'm not regular, you know? Good thing.
You are irregular. On this exercise, guys, you'll see some movement happening with her. The reason is that the lat attaches here on the humerus, way up here on the arm. So when she's in this leaning forward position, the lat fully stretches out, and then the lat fully flexes when you're up vertical. And so we're going to full extension and close to full flexion here. If she stayed bent over the entire time, she wouldn't reach as much flexion. So this is why we're doing this kind of half movement in there, really going after that full range. Supersetted right into front raises, no rest period. You'll notice that she stops right before she reaches the point where there's no tension, which is right there. If she went completely at her side, the tension would leave. So if she went completely vertical, the tension would leave. So she's going right above it. It's like 5 degrees before the tension leaves. She's going to like eye height. That's gonna be different for everyone based on their, like if they have any pain or discomfort at a certain range of motion. For me personally, I go to about chin height because I have a previous shoulder injury. Some people can go all the way to like above their forehead. Good, short rest periods. Keep track of your rest periods. This workout we're gonna be doing, most of these are 40-second rest periods. So we're gonna put the timer on for her and keep those rest periods going. It's really helpful to keep that in mind. When you're doing something this high volume, you really have to watch those rest periods because if she starts messing around in the gym a little bit, we're not really so concerned if she loses a pump or anything, but there's so much volume here that she's gonna be here for 2 hours and that goes way past the point what we're trying to do. Hour and like 10 is where we're trying to really max this thing out. As you can tell, we're supersetting her lat width with her shoulders. So that's the thing. We're trying to create width up top, so we're doing a lot of high lat position exercises. We're not really concerned that much with her back depth. So her back depth would be the thickness of her back, like doing her rhomboids and all these muscles in here in the deep part of her back. But we're more concerned with just the lats and the shoulder width to create more of that V taper, more of that just width up top to help that perfect balance and give the judges what they want, a little bit more size up top. We're gonna do we'll do a little bit of row exercising, but it's not really the focus. In bikini, there's no really point of having back depth. You're gonna cover all your back depth with your hair anyway. And remember, when you're training this advanced, you're training for sport, you're training for what the judges want. You're not really training like a power lifter or a bodybuilder trying to make every single muscle perfectly balanced and symmetrical. Just work on what is gonna show in higher volume, higher frequency for your sport. This is tough. Yeah, this is a tough circuit, I can see it. So on this exercise that she's doing on the shoulder press, which everyone does pretty much shoulder presses, especially bikini because it works a lot of your anterior delt, she's really putting an emphasis on how her hand position is. If you notice, her hand position kind of goes out and everyone's like, why would you do it that way? Because when you go this way, the weight travels through the joint. So it travels through this joint here. So the joint stabilizes the exercise, the muscle doesn't stabilize the exercise. So she's keeping it outside the joint line. And whenever you're outside the joint line, here's the joint line, there's still gonna be tension on the muscle the whole way through. So it makes it a lot harder and it keeps constant tension throughout the muscle the whole time. So there you go, quick tip from Ashley. She's still remembering these ones. All right, this is gonna be a good challenging run. So as soon as we start using some momentum, we'll drop the weight. Push. Nice, you can get 2 more at this weight. Okay, 2-plate drop, big drop for the first one.
We're doing multiple drops?
Uh-huh.
How many?
1 more drop after this. We'll try to get 8 on this if we can. And I think 6 to 8 on the next one. 3.
It's heavy now.
Yeah, it was only a 2-plate drop.
Grip is strong.
5, 6, you can do it, 2 more. 7, 1 more. 8, 1 more drop. This will be light though. 1-plate drop, so 6. Yeah. You just got small hands for this type of, all the handles aren't really made for someone with like a size 6 shoe. Here you go. Right, that's 6 right there. That's perfect. Here you go. There you go. We're just gonna switch these with some laterals off your side just to burn it out. These are light, so just burn it out. I'm sure you got a fire going on in there right now. Just like high rep, good speed. Put the shoulders out.
Oh no, they're on fire. My shoulders are on fire.
So we're going to reverse grip lat pull down. You could do this on the lat bar attachment as well. I'm not a huge fan of it being on a straight bar. I like this slight angle. It's a little bit more natural to the bicep. But if you don't have ideally you do this on like a machine. But if you don't have a machine, then you can use that on the bar or a mag grip if they have one at your gym, that's the reverse grip. And we do the reverse grip just because a slightly more stretch at that top range on the humerus.
And we get a little extra credit bicep.
There you go, extra credit bicep. Yeah, on this workout, it's so focused on the shoulders and lats. Really, we're only working the biceps as a secondary. We do like 1 set at the end of this superset. Yeah. Superset it into lateral raises. You'll see a lot of lateral raises in this exercise. And for all of you physiology and kinesiology guys or exercise science guys, you're probably saying, this is way too much volume. The studies you guys are seeing are based on people who aren't as advanced as this. So that's the problem with these things, is that a lot of the studies, when it comes into exercise and volume and frequency, the case group, like the actual amount of the people that are doing the study aren't, you know, people who've been working out for a decade and have a really high level of recovery, perfect nutrition, all that. It's generally people who've been working out less than a year, maybe 2 years or less, and aren't eating perfectly, college students, things like that. So this is definitely gonna blow a lot of minds out there. A lot of people are gonna be saying, oh, this isn't right, it's too much. But remember, this is for short periods of time, very high level athlete, easier to recover for something like that. And it's only, we'll probably push this out as a max at like 6 weeks, but maybe even 4, so.
Okay guys, so my grip is not the strongest, I'll be honest, and those lat pull downs definitely fatigued my grip. And it's frustrating sometimes because I feel like my grip gives out faster than the body part I'm actually training. So in order to help with that, I use these things called VersaGrips, and they really help you on days like this, especially like with back stuff where you require a lot of grip. Super helpful. Highly recommend if you're like me and don't have the strongest forearms.
It's another exercise mod, and you'll see that how she's going into that full extension, leaning forward a little bit as well at that top range, leaning back a little bit at that back range, trying to get maximum range of motion of extension here and flexion here. That's good weight. All right, so on this last one, we're doing another superset, more lateral raises. I know you guys are probably saying, dang, that's so much lateral raises. I know, that's the point of this whole thing, is overloading it. So we're doing a superset from machine lateral raises to machine rear delt. This one doesn't need to be a superset, but you know, we have the gym to ourselves, so there's no reason not to do it as a superset. Save some time that way. Now, one of the tricks I'm gonna go into, most machine lateral raises in the gym are gonna be made for, like they make them for men for the most part. They don't really take into account smaller frames like the bikini competitors. So one of the things you can do is you'll see this starting point for Ashley. Like, go ahead and lift before, like go back down. So right there, so that's the starting point. So she's already out like 10, 15 degrees. So it's kind of sucks because her starting point's like already higher up than it should be. Most of the machines are gonna be like this. Even for some of the bigger dudes, it'll still be like that. So release this arm for a second. You can grab something like a towel or something. I wasn't really prepared. This is an Angel competition bikini blanket. And it creates another inch, so that starting point comes a lot sooner. Yeah, and you can just do it on both sides, wrap it, whatever. I wasn't really prepared for it today, but a piece of foam, whatever, and that's gonna shorten up that starting point to be more for your structure, which almost every machine, every lateral raise machine is a little wide for bikini competitors, so it's a good tip.
I do like my cheeks better than the opposite.
Yeah. We do this, we say this thing, cheek test is pretty good.
How far out am I?
Oh, that's actually not bad. It's like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, yeah. The sharpness, as soon as you don't feel the bone anymore, we've gone too far. We've gone way too far. So this here is the finisher. We're just zapping those arms a little bit. A lot of the exercises we selected did involve the arms, and we did that on purpose. So the shoulder press, it has some tricep activation. A lot of the biceps were activated by the movements that we picked, like the reverse grip was a lot of bicep movement. The double lat pull was a good bicep movement. And so we're trying to use those as secondaries to get them in high volume, because we can't just keep adding and adding exercises. So we use them as secondaries, and then we're doing this as a finisher just to get those arms. But the priority for her right now is the shoulders and lats, get that upper body width there. And then if we can use the arms as a secondary and still get a little bit of growth out of them, then great. But we're not needing a ton more growth on those arms. And this should be enough, especially because it is a couple times a week that we're doing these extra sets with them being used as secondaries on top of it. So set it up for your body specifically. This is what we call bikini sculpting, not bodybuilding or bikini building. There's different phases. You have your first phase, which is build your base. Your second phase is build your structure for the division that you're trying to do. And then the third phase is bikini sculpting, and that's where she's at, where you really look at your physique, you fill in the areas that need some filling in, you reduce the areas that are a little bit too much. So for example, in her workouts, they're primarily shoulders, lats, upper body. Her glutes and hamstrings are pretty much where they're at, but we want to keep them. We are going to add a little bit more hamstring this time, not because she needs any more, but because it really helps with that tie-in area for her. So we're putting a little bit more on that. So it's just mainly, this is the main focus, and then there's a little bit of leg work as the next day of work. And then that next day of work also has another small 3 exercise shoulder pump. So it goes heavy intense shoulders, legs with shoulder pump, heavy intense shoulders, legs with shoulder pump, day off. Then you repeat that with 2 days off, and that's the split. Now, along with that split, we're gonna put cardio in there on the right days. So the days that are shorter, she's gonna have her cardio just on those days. So we're not gonna do a ton of cardio in this phase. We're trying to build as much lean mass as we can. So her calories aren't super, super high, but they're high enough to recover from this. And the reason the calories aren't gonna be super high is because we're not gonna be doing a lot of cardio on top of it. We can only do so much work to the body. So when you're doing this high of volume, generally we'll decrease the frequency and the total duration of cardio to make sure that she's not in the gym all day, every day. She doesn't get burnt out. Her nervous system doesn't get too fried in this short phase. And we kind of account for it in cardios on an every other day on the shorter workout days. So that is the intense workout, obviously super high volume. Now here's the thing about the frequency. This is why it's so advanced. She's gonna do this as 4 days on, 1 day off, then 4 days on and 2 days off, but the frequency is shoulders pretty much every one of those 4 days. So we're gonna lay out the workout here for you to see. Remember, don't try this at home unless you're ready for it. But if you're ready for it, give it a shot. It is crazy advanced.